Hello, everyone. I am Danielle Lugo. I am the Client Services Coordinator this summer for the CSSA SIRF team. To kick things off for this presentation, I'm going to pass it on to Charlie, our Strategy and Research Planner.
Hi, everyone. I'll be discussing Chapter 1, the background analysis and core problem/opportunity. CSSA is a nonprofit and student-run organization that aims to advocate for over 480,000 CSU students. They advocate for the needs of students and to make sure they are at the forefront of policy-making decisions. This would include high-quality education made affordable to students. This is all made possible through a $2 student representation fee administered twice a year in the fall and spring terms. This is lower than any other CSU fee. This will bring us to our next slide, where I'll be discussing core problems/opportunity. There's a lack of awareness about the $2 SIRF fee and CSSA's purpose to serve as a voice for students. There is also a lack of unity across campuses regarding CSSA information about such how to opt in and how to opt out. This will bring us to our opportunities, the first being the opportunity to bring more awareness about CSSA's mission and how it benefits students. The second being the opportunity to educate campuses further and to keep information up to date on their sites. I'm going to pass it over to Danielle, who will be covering key audiences/publics and messages.
Thank you, Charlie. I'll be starting off this section with a breakdown of our key audiences. So prior to our consultation, our team started to brainstorm on the different types of methods in communicating the CSSA SIRF feed to the CSU students. After conversing with our clients, Jeannie and Brandon, it was brought to our attention that contacting the students was actually only half of the equation. When earning the attention of the students in regards to tuition and fees, they were a voice that students rely on: business services offices and financial aid offices. They are in every CSU campus and are responsible for all the financial aspects of the student's education, from tuition fees to student loans. To boost an opt-in rates for the SIRF fee, we would need their support. Our team did a deep dive in each of the CSU school websites to research the staff members of both business services offices and financial aid offices. And then from there, we a spreadsheet. This is the picture actually of the spreadsheet itself, where we recorded the main persons of contacts from each of the offices, if they were given a name, the emails, as well as the phone numbers. All right, so moving on to publics. So since we technically discovered that there was going to be two separate key audiences we'll be addressing, it was important that we would study each of the individual groups separately. When gathering our statistics, which I have with me here, for students, our study showed that 485,000 students enrolled in 2020 among the 23 campuses. From that number, 57% were female, with the same recorded population, with 46% Hispanic, the largest ethnic group in CSU. For 55% of these students, they are the first member in their family to attend a university. For 32 students, they are even the first in their generation to attend. These statistics actually really hit home for me. I am a proud Mexican American. I am a first American. My mother moved to the States when she was a teenager from Zacatecas, Mexico. So it is really cool to just be a part of this statistic and be a part of being a graduate of the CSU institution. And then moving on with the student body, the staff of the CSU has also broken barriers, with 52.1% of staff members who were women, and with 24.5% being from minority groups. In another study with just administrative support alone, 50.7% of the employees are women of minority groups. Our findings showed that both extremely driven individuals will stop at nothing to succeed, exactly what CSSA supports and stands for. And moving with our message, prior to conducting our own, we proceeded to go onto every CSU website and see what message was given about CSSA and the SIRF fee, and record our findings onto a Word doc. When researching each of the individual schools, we found out that there was actually no universal message. It was all over across the spectrum. Some universities had a description of the SIRF fee, but then forgot to mention CSSA, and vice versa. Some schools had a whole PDF information of SIRF and CSSA, which was awesome. But then also some just simply listed it as another name for a tuition or fee on their websites. So since there was no universal message, we felt it was important for our campaign to have one, especially two that were exactly the same but slightly different for the staff of the offices as well as the students. For the offices of business services and financial aid, our message will be sent out in a form of PDF template, which will be attached to the email pitch. The template contains information of the SIRF fee based on CSSA and the things we liked on the CSU websites. We are confident this document answers all possible questions, including who is CSSA, what is the SIRF fee, why is it at a low cost, and how to opt out if interested. It is the lowest costing fee in the CSU system as well. It is the only fee that advocates for the voices of the student body. This goes along with their mission and their morals that it's your education, it's your choice to do how. So that's why the fee is optional. We found this to be an admirable quality and thought it should be at the forefront of our social media campaign. With this message in mind, Alyssa Avalos, our content media manager, created social media posts like the one created in our slide right here of why $2 matters. And this concludes this section, and I'll pass it along to section 3 with Kendall.
Perfect. So first I'm going to take us into our main strategy here. So our main strategy being CSSA's message needs to be better communicated with CSU students and faculty to create more awareness of all the benefits of CSSA. By utilizing the provided social media content, CSSA can grow their social media presence and strengthen their direct line of communication with the students. And then we're going to hop into our 3 goals here. Our first goal being analyze CSSA existing presence on CSU websites to determine the usefulness of the information being provided by each university. Then develop a template that can be distributed to the universities to provide information that was commonly missing and or not clarified adequately. Secondly, create and deliver to CSSA no less than 20 social media posts to be used in a late summer or early fall to begin a more strategic, focused effort to communicate with CS students to the importance of CSSA. Lastly, increase brand awareness by supplementing the template with a pitch that can be utilized for communication through both email as well as phone when providing the deliverable to each university. Now we're going to go into Alyssa with resources and calendar.
Hi everyone, I'm Alyssa, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with our resources. So in order for our team to succeed this semester, especially just with remote learning, we really utilize the applications such as Google Drive, Sheets, Documents, Slides, Zoom, FunctionFox, and Canva. So we use Google Drive as our outlet to share the work and collaborate effectively as a team. We use Sheets to document research and keep those specific lists of all of our contacts in the CSU campuses. We use Google Documents to finalize all of our work as a team and be able to make those suggestions for one another. And Slides was used to showcase our ideas and our final campaign goals. We found Zoom to be our main outlet for communication, and it was just very effective, especially with the face-to-face communication. And FunctionFox was a tool we used to track the amount of time we spent working on this campaign, and it really allowed all of us to just be on schedule throughout the entire semester. Lastly, we used Canva as our creative resource for all of our media content, and this really allowed us to customize all of the CSSA content and make it very specific to their brand. So in the next slide, I'm going to be covering is our calendar, which tracked our weekly progress for all of our goals. So we first started by planning our meeting schedule with our client and the team, and right away, we moved on to brainstorming the campaign ideas, meeting with the client, and finalizing the proposal. After that, we began our research process, which was the CSU schools, the SIRF fee, everything with that involved, and the media content creation was happening throughout the entirety of the campaign. So once we assessed all the research, we made our template and the pitch, created our final presentation, planned the campaign book, and we just recently finished both of those, the template and the campaign book. So now I'm going to be passing it over to Mark, who will go over our campaign outcomes.
Chapter 5 discusses the campaign outcomes in correlation with the goals that our team set out to accomplish during the summer session. Prior to our initial consultation, our team constructed goals which were in line with the work that was done by the previous semester's team. And these goals put an emphasis on the $2 SIRF fee, involved the publication of social media content throughout the summer, and sought to increase the overall opt-in rates for the SIRF fee. After our initial consultation, it became clear that these goals didn't completely sync with what CSSA had envisioned for their summer campaign. Constructing and finalizing a new set of goals, our team's campaign resulted in the following outcomes. Our first goal was to create and deliver 20 social media posts to CSSA, which would be used to begin a more strategic, focused effort to communicate with CSU students at the 23 CSU campuses about the importance of CSSA. After frequent feedback from CSSA, our team was able to deliver 20 social media posts to Jeannie Tran Martin, the executive director at the California State Student Association. The original outcomes for these social media posts were that they were to be posted to CSA's various social media accounts in late summer and early fall of 2021. However, due to new hirings at CSSA, the association believed that it would be best to delay these postings and schedule them for later next year. The second goal for our team this summer was to analyze CSSA's existing presence on California State University websites. This would help us determine the usefulness of the information that was being provided by each university. Then our team wanted to take that information and develop a template that could be distributed to universities and their associated student body, providing them with information that was commonly missing and or not clarified adequately, in turn creating a more uniform learning experience when reading about the association. The outcome from our research was that we identified universities which dedicated whole pages to CSSA and the SIRF fee. However, we also found multiple universities that had little to no information regarding the matter. We created a pamphlet which covers all key aspects of CSSA and the SIRF fee. This pamphlet, alongside the social media content, is scheduled to be sent out to universities at a later date. The final goal was to supplement the pamphlet with a pitch that would be utilized for communicating through both email as well as phone when providing the deliverable. Throughout the development of our public relations campaign, it became clear that the outcome for our team reaching out and communicating with the universities would be challenging. This was due to known communication complications, and Jeannie Tran Martin decided that it would be best to let her and others at CSSA communicate with each university. In order to assist with this process, our team created a script. The script for CSSA would be used to help jumpstart the conversation between each university and CSSA. Finally, chapter 6. Chapter 6 covers the measurements of success that will be used to assess and evaluate the campaign. These metrics being preparation, implementation, and impact. Regarding preparation, the stream of social media content made for CSSA will be used in a more strategic effort to communicate with students and the importance of CSSA, as well as all they have done for Cal State students. While the implementation of the campaign stems from the curated pamphlet, which aligns with the business objectives and contains key information that isn't readily available on every university website. Lastly, the pitch that the team delivered impacts CSSA's business objectives by providing them and future teams with a starting point for distributing the pamphlet and extending their outreach to CSU students. Lastly, I will be passing it off to Danielle to cover the roadmap for the future.
Thanks, Mark. So for the roadmap for the future of this campaign, we broke it down into 4 phases. The first step being the email and phone call campaign to the financial departments of all the CSU schools. The contacts of all the CSU schools can actually be found in the spreadsheet that we made early on in our this semester. The email will contain the pitch we wrote, as well as a template attached with all the information of SIRF that we hope that they could share on the school's web pages. To complement the email, we thought a phone call to the offices would be a great opportunity to speak further on the matter. Our team conducted a phone call script to go by and phone numbers that can also be found on the CSU contact spreadsheets. From there, we think it'll be best to finally broadcast a social media campaign now that schools will be informed of the updates on SIRF from the financial aid offices. we think this would be a great time to start posting the content on CSSA. Alyssa, our media content manager, has created a handful of social media content filled with CSSA related topics and infographics for CSSA to share on their social media. Thirdly, a follow-up call and email, I think, should be sent out probably around 6 weeks to maybe 2 months for the offices that probably were not heard from the initial email and phone call campaign. This is a really great opportunity to reinstate the same information given from that very first pitch. And lastly, to finish off the campaign, an analysis should be made in recording the measurement of success. By collecting the aftermath of the operation, we find it will provide clarity and gather takeaways from that first launch that possibly would want to be carried on in a potential future launch. And this actually concludes our presentation. We'd first like to say a few thank yous. We'd like to thank Practical Advantage for the wonderful opportunity. On behalf of my team, I know we really appreciated the experience that we had these past few weeks. Also, we'd like to thank our clients at CSSA. We appreciate their patience and trust that they had in helping us create this amazing project. We'd also like to thank the TA, Jessica, for helping us out when we had any questions. She was really quick in responding to emails. And lastly, I would like to thank Professor for just being an incredible mentor this summer. So thank you.